Hey, it's Dave Brown here, host of Now with Dave Brown on AMI. Check out this latest highlight from the show. A unique program is taking an innovative approach to canine scent detection. Canines for Care is put on at the Vancouver Coastal Health Hospital. They pioneered the world's first C. difficile detection canine program in 2016. The program has highly trained dogs to identify germs and reduce infections. Teresa Zurberg is the co-founder and program technical lead for VCH's canine detection program. Hey, Teresa, thank you so much for making the time today.
Thanks for having me.
So the program uses dogs who were trained for finding drugs and explosives. Where did the idea come from to transition these dogs to work in the medical field?
So there was an article in about 2013 from Netherlands about a dog named Cliff. He was a little beagle, and they had trained him to find C. difficile at the bedside, so looking for C. diff in patients. I had C. diff in 2013, just about died. My husband was a nurse. He brought the idea to the hospital he worked at, Vancouver General Hospital. And I was a bomb and drug detection handler at the time. And they said, hey, do you think you can do this? And I'm like, if a dog can smell and it has an odor, I can train a dog to do it. And here we are.
How do you teach a dog to detect C. diff?
To the dogs, it's just a big game. Drug dogs don't care about drugs. Bomb dogs don't care about bombs. And our dogs really don't care about C. diff. What they care about is what finding that target odor gets them. So if it's their toy, if it's a cookie. So we play a game of association with them until they get really, really good at it. And they understand, hey, this odor gets me what I really want, which is my tennis ball or the cookie.
I've had, you mentioned how one of the first dogs here was a beagle, and I've had a beagle in my life who's quite the excellent sniffer, a great nose on that doggo. What qualities are you looking for when picking a dog for scent detection?
So every dogs can sniff, but not every dogs can work, especially in the environment we work in. So we want a really high drive hunting dog. The dogs we chose, we have Springer Spaniels, and we've got 2 Cocker Spaniel puppies coming up, are all from hunting kennels. So they come from long lines of dogs that their DNA just screams, I need to search, I need to hunt. And these guys will work through any environment, no matter the distraction or what's going on in the background. All they want to do is hunt. We also pick dogs for the hospital environment that aren't so intimidating looking. So not your German Shepherds and your Malinois. These guys are cute. They got floppy ears and they're always wagging their tail. So they're not so intimidating looking when we're taking them through the hospital environment.
How long does it take to train one?
Depending on the dog, it takes about 6 months, sometimes 8 months to train them.
What are some of the outcomes so far of the Canines for Care program?
So it's been amazing. We've had things happen that we didn't expect to happen. So the staff engagement, the engagement from the patients and their families has been wonderful, because all of a sudden now we have people talking about infection control, hand hygiene, all these concepts that nobody would really care to talk about, and different groups getting together, and we're coming up with solutions. When the dogs alert, the dogs were alerting on staff lockers. And so at the very base organic level, the staff on that unit had a team huddle and came up with their own solutions of getting some really cheap racks that they could put their shoes in, so their shoes no longer went in the locker, because that was the cause of the transmission, was the shoes being in the locker.
I apologize if this is too nuts and bolts or too paws and claws, as it were, but what is the day-to-day look like for the dogs? How often are they popping by? What does a shift look like?
So our dogs get here 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, and they start with their daily maintenance training. So just to get them warmed up, just like you would an athlete, they do some scent puzzles. Then we'll have a meeting and figure out what we're going to be doing for the day. The dogs will go out to the units, and we call it screen the units. So they will search the units. We don't search patients. We only search the environments, and find any reservoirs of contamination of C. diff. It's a diva bacteria. It's hard to grow and it's hard to kill, and it likes to hide out, and it can stay hidden in that spore format for like a year.
You mentioned that there was perhaps an extra emphasis on the adorableness of dogs. I know that when dogs are working, they're not typically supposed to be bothered, but what does it do for morale to have a couple cute spaniels wandering about?
Oh, it definitely boosts the morale. We hear regularly like, "Oh, we're so glad you guys are here. It's like the best moment of our day." We often get asked by families if, "Hey, can the dog just sit in the doorway so their loved one in the bed who isn't feeling so hot can just look at the dog?" And we'll do that as
Aw.
well. So it makes everybody's day.
I mean, listen, who doesn't love an adorable dog in their life? I mean, it's always going to bring a smile on your face.
It sure is, and it definitely does, and it makes our jobs so much easier and quite rewarding.
So now that there's been some positive outcomes and some empirical evidence to point to, what about expansion plans? Where could this grow from here as a concept?
So we're definitely looking at expanding. That's one of the projects. That's actually my next meeting after this. We're looking at expanding our services to all the hospitals across Canada. It's a tool that makes the invisible visible and it makes it tangible. So in the end, it helps keep our hospital environments cleaner, which then makes them safer for patients, staff, and their families.
C. diff is obviously something that's quite specific, but what about possibly identifying other kinds of scents or other forms of contaminant?
That's definitely in the works as well. The C. diff is an interesting one because it's fecal based and you don't want fecal contamination in the
Oof.
environment. But it can also, if you get rid of that contaminant, it also helps get rid of a lot of other contaminants. So it's kind of a well-rounded choice right now. So that's the one we're working with, and we're looking to see what else we can do.
Well, listen, Teresa, it's been great to chat with you this morning. Really appreciate it. Congratulations with the success of the program, and let's connect again down the road as you guys continue to grow and continue to do great work.
Thank you so much, and we'd love to talk with you again.
Absolutely. That's Teresa Zurberg. Teresa is the co-founder and program technical lead for VCH's Canine Detection Program. Do you want to dive into more conversations like this? Watch Now with Dave Brown weekdays at 9 a.m. Eastern on AMI-TV or download the podcasts wherever you listen. Do you want to dive into more conversations like this? Watch Now with Dave Brown weekdays at 9 a.m. Eastern on AMI-TV or download the podcasts wherever you listen.